Today is the first day of winter, also called winter solstice, which is the day with the longest night of the year. In Chinese culture, there are many must-have dishes on this day, but today we're making one of the dishes gets prepared around the first day of winter, that is萝卜干, dried radish. Dried radish has a tender but crunchy texture, sweet and flavorful. It can be consumed as a side dish or as condiments in a dish. We'll use 3 traditional ways to make 3 different flavors of dried radish. So let's get started. First method, we'll simply air dry the radish and we'll make it 5 spiced flavored. Here's a list of ingredients. You can use other types of radish as well. I am using Chinese white radish. First step is to cut the radish. Slice the radish into thin pieces. Then for each piece, make 1 cut on one side and 2 cuts on the other. So the radish slice becomes a W-shaped piece. Next step is to air dry. Hand up the radish strips by sliding the middle cuts on the hangers or drying racks. Let it air dry for 2 to 3 days. Winter air is cold and dry, which is perfect for drying the radish. After a couple days, radish will be completely shrunken and dehydrated. It will be easy to preserve as well. Last step is to season. Rinse the dried radish in hot water. Cut them into smaller pieces. Add the radish straight to the wok. Saute to make it drier. When there's steam coming out, transfer the radish to a plate. We're making the 5 spiced dried radish. Heat the oil, saute the garlic. Add in chili oil. Diced radish, blend them well. Then add in a little bit of soy sauce, sugar, salt, some 5 spice powder and Sichuan pepper powder. Stir fry until all the seasonings are mixed well together. And our delicious 5 spice dried radish is finished. The dried radish is very well spiced and crunchy. Store it in a clean jar and seal. The second way is to press the radish to force the water out. First step is to cut the radish, slice it into pieces, then chop it into thin strips. Second step is to salt cure the radish to draw some water out. In a bowl, add sliced radish, some salt. Mix them well and let them sit for half an hour. After half an hour, because of the high salt concentration, as you can see, there's quite a bit of water drawn. Third step is to press the radish. It is a very traditional way of making the dried radish by pressing it using heavy objects. Based on my grandmother's word description, after many trials and errors, I was able to replicate the system. Basically, you'll need a filter bag to put the radish in, a container that collects water dripping from the radish, and a flat surface that can also drain water. For example, a steaming rack would be perfect. Put the rack on top of the container. Put the radish on the rack. Then you'll need some heavy objects, could be a rock, a brick, or something handy, like a container full of water. Put it on the bag of radish. Let it press for 1 night or 2. It will be better to let it sit in cold temperatures such as outdoors or in the fridge, because our radish is not fully dehydrated, so it is easy to go bad. This is what a dried radish looks like after being pressed. Last step is to season. We'll make a spicy mixed dried radish this time. So it's really simple, just add salt, sugar, Sichuan pepper powder, chili pepper powder, a splash of chili oil, and sesame seeds onto the dried radish and mix well. We didn't fully dehydrate or heat up the radish, so we cannot preserve the spicy mixed dried radish for too long. It is better to eat it fresh. Last but not least, we have the simplest way of making the dried radish, that is to dry it in the sun. First and second steps are the same as before. Cut the radish into thin strips and then slightly cure it to draw out the water. Third step is to sun dry. Traditionally, people would dry it using a bamboo braided tray, which can also let water flow through. But I don't have one, so a simple baking tray would do. In the winter, there are less sunlight, so sun dry will take a bit longer than air dry, around 3 to 4 days to let it fully dry. Last step, season. This time we'll make a simple dish, stir-fry green soybean and dried radish. Here's a list of ingredients. Rinse the dried radish in hot water. Dice them into smaller pieces. Peel the shells and take out the green soybeans. Chop the chili peppers into smaller pieces. Stir-fry the radish to let it dry. When the steam starts to come out, take it off the heat. Add some oil, sizzle the chili pepper, add in the dried radish, green soybeans. Stir-fry until all the ingredients are mixed well together. Add some salt, sugar, and soy sauce for flavoring. And that's it. Put them in a plate. The crunchy and spicy dried radish and the tender and savory green soybeans is a perfect match. You'll experience contrasting but well-mixed flavors and textures in your mouth. All three methods have their own advantages. Air-dried radish is quick and easy. You can make a big batch each time, and it's easy to preserve. Pressed radish is the fastest, only needs 1 night or 2. But the whole pressing structure is hard to set up and it cannot be preserved for too long because it's not fully dehydrated. Sun-dried radish is taking the longest, but it's very simple and it's also easy to preserve. I hope you like those 3 dried radish recipes and stay tuned for more Chinese food recipes like this.